to sign them. There are about 20 contracts in all. Each of them is more than 200 million. Each contract is valued at over 200 million cedis. And it's going. And incidentally, all 20 contracts are for projects in Ashanti region. All 20. All 20. There are more than 20 that he wants to sign. And each is about 200 million. And that is what the CEO of the Highways Authority is. So to confirm what you actually raised, these are like more details from my oral office.
That's true. Your source is right. But what I do not know is whether the minister refused or...
Yeah, the source said that the minister has refused to sign them.
Okay. I believe so, because considering the advice from the legal department and other senior persons within the Ghana Highway Authority, then it makes sense that the minister would refuse to associate himself with such a thing. And so clearly the other civil servants who are doing, or public officers other than the political heads who are doing the things that they are doing, they should know that the day of accountability will come, and will surely come.
I think let's explore this, really. You know,
the Ministry of Sports to have, youth and sports also have similar things, that just 2 days to election, certain contracts were also signed in the absence of the minister. But that I haven't checked to know the details or otherwise of it, whether it went through the right processes or not.
So I guess, so that's a caveat. So if you have a contract that is gone through the right processes, okay, never mind that is within the transition period. Let's make that assumption for this, to say that
But why would you intend?
No,
just hold on. Okay. Why would you, at this stage, why would you want to sign contracts with values of close to 4 billion cedis? Why would you want to put that burden on the next government? That's colossal.
Yeah. So, but
that's colossal. And at this point, that decision to take up that financial burden is a decision that you should run by the incoming team.
Yes. No, but
it's colossal.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless these things are emergency in nature.
Yeah.
You waited 8 years.
Yeah.
So it's now that you want to do 20 contracts valued at about 200 million cedis each, which then is about 4 billion cedis.
Yeah. So I'm coming purely. So this is not this for us just to explore. That's what I said. So I understand the emotion and the rationale for that not to be done. Put that burden on the incoming government. But also,
if they are important, you see, I'm saying that if they are important, and signing them today, inures to the benefit of the state.
Clearly.
It only makes sense that you bring it up and say that, look, yes, you are coming in and all that, but we are about doing this. This is how important this thing is. This is the reason why it must be done now and cannot wait. And let them appreciate it and move on.
Yeah. So I agree. So all of that is necessary. But I think where I find a slight danger, okay, because this is come up severally, to the point that, okay, well, we're in the transitional period, and so therefore some of these things should not happen. I see the moral of it. I see the importance, the appeal factor. I see it. But I'm also saying that there is a mandate, okay, which mandate in Parliament your side is forcefully pushing, okay, to say that there is still a government that must act.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so that if you are saying and making that argument forcefully in Parliament, that the government must not assume that because we're in transition, it takes backstage and therefore takes responsibility and do certain things, then we should then create that same atmosphere to say that some of these things that are being done, the government still has a mandate to execute. Now, the conversation must be an appeal. The conversation must be that, okay, these things are being done in good faith. So where after you have taken over and you see some anomalies, some summary or abridged version of the processes to allow for this thing to be done, then you know that
for me, my point is that there are implications for the state. You see, in this country, people act in official capacities. that are injurious. The actions are injurious,
to the state.
Now,
later.
when it comes to, you see, all these judgment debts that we've paid, those that were caused by the actions of people in authority, how many of such persons have we held responsible for those things? So you see, I give you an example. The order paper before Parliament, there is 180 million euro ships for the Ghana Navy in there. There is a tax waiver, 350 million in there. The minority makes the point that, look, these are financial implications of about $500 million. We do not think that you ought to saddle the next government with this financial implication. So hold on. Just hold on. Now they are able to do this because the law stipulates that these things must come to Parliament. So it is not to say that a person doesn't have the mandate. But they are also giving a reason why they will not be in a position to support them. I hope you get the point I'm making. It is not to say you don't have the mandate. But the law also grants me the right to say I support or I do not support.
Yeah.
As to whether I can be able to marshal the numbers or not is another
That's
matter.
another thing.
But I'm making the point.
Yeah.
And the point I'm making is that I'm not saying that the Navy doesn't need a ship.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that, look, at this time, I can't be part of any process with financial implications of about $500 million.
Yes.
So let's hold on.
Yeah. So Parliament, you have.
So get the point I'm making. Now, what it presupposes is that if, for example, these contracts were to come to Parliament,
yes,
what would be the position of the minority?
Yeah.
That if they can say that 180 million for Navy, please hold on. What would have been their position if $4 billion, $4 billion cedis worth of contracts were to come there? But why will anybody want to even do that? But with 2 weeks or so
to transition.
Yeah.
But I beg you. So the point is that we are caught between a rock and a hard place. Right?
All I am saying is that you see, sometimes, so yesterday we were discussing this thing and the issue of legislating everything. You and I hold a certain position that, look, not everything must be legislated. Right. But in this Fourth Republic, we have demonstrated that we ought to be treated like robots.
Yeah.
Everything must be in black and white. Because what is so difficult about saying that, look, there are some 20 key projects. As for these projects, we cannot even wait 3 weeks. We ought to enter them now and start executing them now. So please, let's look at them and let's go through them. And first of all, we even need to, while we're having the transition, is also to let the incoming government see the real picture. So if you are going to create a picture of an extra 4 billion cedis, is that not
distorting?
Yes, is that not enormous enough?
Yeah. So
for anybody to know?
No. So the principle, the spirit in which the transition team must work is properly situated in your argument. I agree with that. There's no dispute about that. But what I'm worried about is the creation of the impression as though that you are stopped from taking any action. No. Right? No, because so we have to.
I get the point you're making.
We need to be clear about that too, because this is not going to be the only.
The government doesn't cease to operate
at all.
However, we must all agree.
Yes.
That the spirit behind the transition is also some level of transparency, opening the books, letting people see what is in there, letting them ask questions.
Goodwill must be there.
Yes. So within that spirit, anything that has implications,
we need to talk about it.
Yes.
So I totally agree.
You see, that is why.
Conclude. So the point I am making, the point I am making is that yes, let's make this point carefully, but let's not veer into the point that, like you were saying, they must know that there are consequences. No, if they are doing something wrong, definitely, whether it is transition or long before transition, there will be consequences. There must be consequences. But let's not use that as a threat. But let's rather open up the spirit and say, look, what we are doing is in the interest of Ghana. We think you can wait on this matter so we can do it. So that we don't distort the thing and say that once you lose an election as a sitting government, you become a lame duck. You can't do anything. That cannot be right.
Yeah. Richard, if you have a situation where, as we are being told with some further information, that even the minister himself was so concerned, it doesn't matter the legal processes that you would have gone through. 30 clear days prior to the date set for the presidential elections, meaning that by 7th of November, handing over notes should be ready and available and handed over to the Administrator General. This is so because the understanding is that no major decision would be taken within such a period, because the handing over notes contain economic issues, security issues, and what have you. But if you have a situation where even post-elections, we are still taking decisions that runs into millions of dollars, then it means that we are doing things that runs against the trust.
So that's where the
spirit.
That's where the issue of running by the transition comes
exactly.
in. So this, what you are doing, was not part of the handing over notes. But it's weighty enough.
Weighty enough.
Because, for example, if it had occurred before the handing over notes, it would have
been included.
So all those actions that are after, post the handing over notes, run it by us.
You see, the president-elect has not taken the oath yet. But in the transition, they say he must be regularly briefed on security matters, just in the way the sitting president is briefed.
So the national security briefs that President Akufo-Addo will be given, the Transitional Act expects that same briefing is given to the president-elect. Yes, and it is so everywhere.
Yeah. Even in the states, actually, once you become the flag bearer,
you start getting
some.
So how come things like contracts, even things that border on national security, the president-elect is expected to be given a briefing?
Yeah, so there's a lacuna somewhere there.
They are just taking advantage.
Look at. No, you see, so, Kofi,
they're just taking advantage.
Kofi, well, the framers of the law appreciates that at a certain level.
Common sense,
and goodwill.
At a
common sense
level.
And goodwill, trust and faith.
So we can argue from, and that's where what you're doing. You can approach it from that space. You understand? So that we know this is not going to be the only transition ever. Subsequently, there will be transitions. How are people conducting themselves? The precedents we're setting today would be a guide for them. So let's approach it in that spirit and see what we can do right to benefit them.
Look, in 2016, the affirmative action bill was almost to be concluded. The minority then that had won elections opposed it completely.
Right to information.
Right to information.
Right to information.
See, today, we said, look, we are facing all kinds of threats. So the Boundary Commission bill, let's work it and make sure that quickly it is passed, because it will aid our
because we wanted a situation where it is as if
who did it and signed it into law.
So let's not let this person do it.
We said social protection.
The pettiness started long ago.
Social protection. We said no. We are prepared to spend time and get it through. This is the level of trust, faith that we have shown. Unfortunately, we're not getting same from the other side, and it's absolutely wrong. And we must condemn all these. That huge financial decisions are being taken. Look, all kinds of things are being done. Recruitments are happening. These boys and girls will be sent to training. They will be given all kinds of training, and you are forced.
But on that training matter, it's been cleared. These are things that predates even the elections. Way back in August, thereabout. So that one is clear on that. There are no new recruitments being sanctioned as we speak.
You see,
so let's be kind to the facts. That's just my problem. Senior has situated the argument properly, but you are making it as if it's a matter of fact. You must stop governing. And I don't think that's proper.
I have not said so. Richard,
the impression
I am lucky. Since I entered this 8th Parliament, I've been a member of the Defense and Interior Committee. At the point that I was leaving that committee just a few months ago, I was made ranking for Security and Intelligence Committee, so still within the security system.
Space,
So I've played in that space. I know what it is that I'm talking about. we know things that are happening behind the scenes that is ugly, that is inappropriate, that are being subsumed in the orderly ones. And those are the things that we said is dangerous. Should not, if you did it in the past, at least for the period that is within transition, do only things that are above board. Don't introduce all the other things into the things that would have been described as above board. It's dangerous for all of us. And